Ayubowan, Planakam. When I first came to Sri Lanka, I was planning to spend 8 months here. And that was in 2002, which means I've been here for almost 16 years now. And a lot of my international contacts ask me, why Sri Lanka? That's one of my favorite topics, but that's going to have to be a story for later, because today we're going to talk about the future of brands, and that means we need to step back a little bit, and we need to take a look at this pale blue dot that we all call home, because if we don't figure out a better way of all living together on this planet, there won't be a future of brands, right? There won't be a future of business, because the way that we're going, it's not looking very good for the human species, right? Our current economic system is not sustainable. It's based on a set of rules that's not sustainable. It's based on the idea we measure our success, as Robbie was talking about earlier. We measure our success based on continuous growth and maximizing short-term profits. But we all know that you can't have continuous infinite growth in a finite system. And if you just maximize short-term profits, there's long-term consequences for our health, for our families, as Lena was talking about, as our communities, our biosphere, and now our climate. So the purpose of Good Market, the reason Good Market started, is to help support a transition to a new kind of economic system, one that's good for people and good for the planet. And the approach comes out of two different kind of recognitions, two experiences. The first is the feeling that the problems we're facing today, the social and environmental challenges, are so big that it can be really overwhelming, right? We know that we as individuals, we can't fix problems like global climate change or inequality or things like that. It's too big, right? And the fear can make us feel numb. You can feel, it makes you feel powerless. We kind of hope that maybe someday somebody's going to come top down and they're going to solve this problem. But deep down we know that these top-down changes are too slow, right? It's not happening fast enough, right? So that's the first thing, this feeling that it's overwhelming. The second challenge is even when we get up enough energy and we're going to try and make a change, we're going to try and change our individual action, it's not easy, right? It takes a huge amount of research and effort, right? And it's really difficult to know, where do things really come from? How are they really made? What information can I trust, right? It's really difficult, especially if you're in a family that's just struggling to get by, or you're a small business that's trying to make payroll. It's difficult, right? So that's the reason that Good Market focuses on curation, right? That's the reason, that's the first step to the approach. Good Market is a curated community of brands for the future, right? So it's groups, it's enterprises that are changing the rules. They're operating according to a different set of rules, and they're prioritizing people and planet in their decision making. So to be able to be part of the community, right, they fill out an online application. They have to explain how they're prioritizing people and the planet. There's a dynamic application form. There's minimum standards for all sectors of the economy. And there's a crowdsourced monitoring system. All of this started out really small. We thought maybe there would be 10 or 12 brands in Sri Lanka. Didn't have big expectations. But there are now more than 560 enterprises on the Good Market platform. So what you see on Saturdays, that's just the tip of the iceberg, right? This is a really big mix. There are Good Market vendors in every district of the country and almost every single sector of the economy, right? There are groups that have been around for decades, like Celine, right? And there are brand new social enterprise startups like Kimball Kittle, right? Hopefully maybe engage in the future. There are groups, we have a lot of vendors that are organic farmers, rural producers, that they fill the form in Sinhala or Tamil. But we also have international brands. They're large manufacturing companies, financial service providers. And because we approve by brand, there are also some big companies that have started out their new initiatives. So we have, for example, Haley's has an organic brand called Goviarona. Expo Lanka has Neptune Recyclers. Right? It's a big mix. And not all of them involve money. We have Good Market community members that are voluntary networks. They focus on replanting trees or on social service. We have poetry collectives We have independent filmmaking clubs. So it's all people that want to do something good for people and good for planet. One of the really unexpected things that has come out of all of this is exactly what Selena was talking about, right? It's that how much the Good Market community members enjoy trading with each other, right? They exchange with each other. Because if you're working according to this new set of rules, if you're trying to do things that are good for people and good for the planet, you want to support and work with others who share those same values. So we have consultants and suppliers, sales outlets, that their full focus is on supporting the Good Market community members, right? And what this means is if you start to take these two things together, you have people working according to a new set of rules, and you have people working with new relationships. That's the beginning of a new economic system that's starting to emerge. And by putting it all together on a map, to be able to see just where we are now, even just 560 on a map, it makes it easier to see where we have gaps in the ecosystem. Those could be social and environmental issues that people aren't working on yet, or it could be gaps in a particular sector where we have a new opportunity. And I have an example actually just from this week. So we have a lot of Good Market community members have been contacting, and they're saying, I can't find a printer. I need something that's PVC free for my stickers and my labels. I want something that's plant-based inks. Where can I find this? So we start putting out the word. There's a gap in the ecosystem. People are looking for this. And we got contacted this week by one of the top 5 printing companies, Karnaratna and Sons, and they've been working on a new brand. They just signed up for the platform yesterday, and they said, we'll fill that gap, right? Print green, we're going to do Forest Stewardship Council certified paper, plant-based inks, PVC free, right? We'll fill that gap in the ecosystem. So what that means is now we can see, with the curation, we can see who's there. Now the focus is on connection. It's about speeding it up, making it easier for everyone to link together. So we're just about ready to launch the next phase, the next software release for the Good Market Global platform. And this is all focused on connection. This is about making it easier to find, connect, and exchange with participants in this new economy. And hopefully we can talk more about that in the question section.